edition of Cat Calls. I am Cat Bine, and this is my show that I do every Thursday here on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/KATBEIN. And why am I spelling it out loud? Because you might be watching this later on YouTube, okay? I put all my old episodes of Cat Calls up on YouTube. And if you're watching it on YouTube and you're not here with us, the kids, live with me and T. Goldberg and the Casey Michael and Alice Sophie and Clearly Blurry, then what is your excuse, okay? You need to come on down to the next time I do the show, which is every Thursday at 4 p.m. PT, 7 p.m. ET, but whatever. I'm not here to waste the time of everyone who is here, okay? Because everyone who's here is really excited about our guest, and I'm really excited about our guest. So everyone, please give it up to Sam motherfucking Gellaitry, okay? Yes. We gotta clap. Oh, I turned it down. We gotta turn it back up. We're gonna get a big round of applause for Sam G. Okay, we can turn it back down now. That was fun. Now, Sam is only 24 years old, but he is no newcomer to the scene, okay? Truly, he's coming up on close to a decade as a professional in the music industry, which is crazy. He got his start on SoundCloud when he was just 16, making making bootlegs of Michael Jackson and Sierra and others. But he quickly turned to original releases, and his music, it just runs over your brain. It's like sonic poetry, okay? The textures of these rhythms and the emotional depth of the melodies is really something that sticks in your soul, and it's very unique, and it's something that I spent the last few years listening to over and over. I actually, before COVID started, was a bit of a digital nomad and was traveling the world, and his Escapism series in particular was in heavy rotation for me. It was a big favorite. I love Escapism 3. I love all of them. But the tracks of that series, you know, it has the kind of epic cinematic quality that you want soundtracking those big inspiring moments in your life. So Sam Gellaitry has been a star for a while, but he dropped Escapism 3 in 2017, and then it got a little quiet. But about a month ago, he released the first single of like the rest of his life, let's say. Duo is a big statement right out of the gate. Sam has changed, all right? He's singing, first of all, and the songs have this lively synth pop energy to them. It's really beautiful stuff, and the EP digs into a few different moods. He's still very versatile, and he's as talented as ever, and it's still got all the luscious, like, beat fun, and I don't know, it's just really good. But I'm really excited to chat with Sam today and find out, like, what spurred this move toward a new sound and just, you know, how he's doing. I've never got the chance to interview him before, and I really wanted to for a really long time, so I'm very excited about it. And Scotland is awesome. We love Scotland. So before I get Sam on the line, I want to play Duo for you. He's got a music video for it. Fair warning, there is like a flash warning that goes along with this video, so if you're light sensitive, maybe turn away. You can still enjoy the video, the song without the video, and then when we come back, we'll have Sam on the line, and I hope you guys have questions, because like I said, this is as much your show as it's my show. Drop your questions in the chat, and I will make sure to ask Sam all about it. I'm done talking. It's been a lot of talking. I'm gonna play the song, and then I'll get Sam, okay? Let's just dive in.
They think you're kind of bare, all alone, a couple strangers acting clever. Oh no.
And Sam is here, yay, Sam.
I'm gonna have to take you off the screen because I'm having.
It's too much. It's too much. It's too much to deal with. I know. I feel the same way. I'm already like all cylinders firing. How are you doing? How are you doing this fine evening? You're a little. I'm great. You're a little dark, but it fits the vibe. You're like back.
You know what? Is this better? Hold on.
I'm just gonna let you deal with it, and I'm gonna say Clearly Blurry. That was his or her or their first time hearing that song. That looks fabulous, and Clearly Blurry was just like blown out of the water by Duo. Let me just say.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate that. Clearly Blurry.
As we all are. And everyone's really excited that you're here. Cutie is just screaming your name, and everyone loves some swag. Everyone's very excited. I'm very excited. Let's talk a little bit about Duo. I want to dive into so much with you. This is our first time really getting to have a proper chat, so I'm going to ask many questions. But Duo, it was the walking out of you as a singer, as a lyricist, as a pop star in the making. Like, how did it feel, and how has it been to hear people enjoying it?
probably the first song I ever wrote, essentially.
Really?
Because like, no, on the structure of it being like verse, chorus, verse. Like I've never wrote a song like that before. I remember being in sessions and I'd hear like structure and I'd be like, no, please no structure. So that's probably like the first actual song in that sense of it.
Wow. Well, wait
I
a
think
blow it out of the water.
Oh,
What
sorry,
were you
I
gonna
was say
say?
was, like, the crazy thing is the first I had that idea, I had that demo for a while and I was sitting and I had a different chorus for it. But prior to that, I think I made that track very similar to when it came out, like on the year before.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
that's what I was saying recently. I was like, it's cool that although this music's kind of been around for a bit for me, it's like coming out at the point where I started making it in the year past. So like coming out a year in advance is quite a nice like I associate it with this time of the year because that's when it was made.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I was in like it's always a frustration as an artist to like not be able to put out the music as soon as you've done it.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad it feels like the right time to put it out at this point because it's that's when I came up with it essentially.
It was a summery inspirational vibe. I like
Definitely.
that.
That one specifically has very much. I wanted to be in that place, ready for summer. If you need it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and this year we're all very ready for summer, and we'll have a summer, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like last year was the summer that didn't happen, so it was maybe a good time to get experimental.
It feels like that here because the weather is cold and not very spring-like, for example. So I'm hoping it comes for us soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I personally love Scotland to death. I had the pleasure of visiting.
Have you been here before?
I have. Okay, so I guess all over. I stayed in Edinburgh with a friend for a while, and then I went to Glasgow, which I was like strictly told to never say Glasgow again at one point.
You said Edinburgh, to be honest.
Oh, I'm sorry, Edinburgh. Edinburgh.
That's all right. You can say Glasgow as much as you want, but Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. Make fun of me. It's terrible.
It's a tough one. No.
I have no excuse. Train spotting
what
is
did you prefer? There's the real question. Which one did you prefer?
I really just loved Edinburgh. I think it's beautiful. No one told me it was a goth paradise, which was
they invented Harry Potter there, so there's
yes, exactly. Well, I was gonna say Train Spotting is my favorite movie, and I've watched it like a million times. And watching that movie, I was not made aware of the gothic element of everything. I like went to a bar that was in a cave or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Like a lot of you're probably in Cowgate where it's like the underground bit.
Yes, I think so.
That is very old structures that they've turned into drinking dens. So
yeah. Everyone's making fun of my Edinburgh. That's the way I will say it from now on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It reminds me of being on a flight and they're like, this is the LAX flight to Edinburgh. It's fine.
You're just traumatized. You're like, let me get on the mic.
No, it's it's spelled BURGH, and that's confusing enough. So there's no problems.
Us Americans, we're whatever.
No, I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure the French for Edinburgh is Edinburgh, like BROO.
Oh well, the French are always adding vowels where there don't need to be vowels, and like.
Please go on Google. I'm going to double check that. French for Edinburgh.
While you're double checking that, you're from.
Oh, no, it's Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
There's one that's spelled EDINBROO. I promise you, you're fine.
I'm really glad that we're getting to the hard-hitting questions here on Cat Calls. I finally got Sam Gellaitry in my grasp, and we're just going to spend 20 minutes talking about the etymology of Edinburgh.
We've figured that out.
But you are from a town called Stirling in Scotland, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
I have not visited Stirling, although maybe I will check it out. Is it worth visiting?
Yeah, it's very historical, but it is quite small.
Yeah.
But I love it because it's in between Glasgow and Edinburgh. So
nice.
I have the choice of both, but it's still rural. And like the rule of Scotland is when you go further up, it gets more scenic and more beautiful.
Yes, so I did go up into
nice to be here. Where did you go up north?
Well, I did the touristy thing and I went to Loch Ness.
There you go. Did you see anything suspicious in the water?
I mean, I saw a lot of assholes on the boat who were trying to like debunk it, and I was like, why are you getting on the Loch Ness boat tour if you want to debunk Loch Ness? Like, they're selling condoms with the monster on them. It's a fun game.
At the same time, you know?
They were. Ooh, are you having a beverage?
It is, to be honest, it is 12 o'clock here, and what's just at the pub. So
I was going to ask if I may be so bold as to request you send me a box of Buckfast.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I was wondering if you could send me some Buckfast, because that's what I really miss from Scotland.
Goodness. Nah, I don't endorse Buckfast.
You don't? Have you ever had a time with Buckfast previously? Can you explain to people what Buckfast is in case they don't know?
So first of all, every time is a time with Buckfast.
Every time is a time.
It's like, do you want a drink? I'll be like, sure, yeah. Even tonight, actually, I had a sip of it. Like, it's a you can't refuse it when it's there. But to be honest, so basically, it's a tonic wine that has caffeine in it that drives people very crazy, and it tastes as potent as it sounds. To be honest, it's too much.
Yeah, and it's made by Benedictine monks.
It's not even made in Scotland.
Oh, it isn't. That's cool. Well, I'm a fan. Back here in the States, we had a thing called Four Loko, and that's what I will let the kids know to describe it with.
I've indulged in Four Loko. It's a bit metal. Yeah, it's from a place called Devon. It's in a region of Devon, which is in England, and it's monks that make it. You're right with that.
Incredible.
We take it as our own.
I love it. It's taking it in. People are asking what kind of scotch you're drinking. What scotch are you drinking? You don't, I don't know.
This is a Glendever.
Oh, yeah.
So this is 30 years old. It's been left for 7 years, so technically this was conceived way before I was born. This is a good question to ask when I have something like this, but it's usually not that fast. That was because of the release, of course. We had to celebrate.
Absolutely, yeah, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I want to keep talking about your musical background. I heard that when you were 8 or 9 years old, you heard Daft Punk's Around the World, and that was an inspiration to you to start making music. True? You're nodding your head.
It is very true. I knew exactly where I was at the time. It was Animac that played it. I was 9, 8, or I don't know if I was 8 or 9. I think I was 8. No, 9. I had to be 9. And I couldn't believe I was here. It was the first I'd heard Daft Punk's music on like adverts and Subliminate. Like I've heard it One More Time by that point and all these other songs, but that was the first time I knew I was listening to Daft Punk.
Yeah.
So, it blew my mind. And the beauty of that moment was this was just as YouTube was coming about. And even in my adolescent brain, it was like I was processing that there was this a world out there that I could tap into.
Yeah.
With having information like that.
That's
I remember
true.
that blew my mind because I knew that YouTube was something new, but I also knew that it would be something that lasted as long as it has, and like a total different. I mean, that's where I actually made the majority of my tastes and like continued making music, because after hearing Daft Punk, that's what made me want to sample music.
Yeah.
So I used to go sample hunting when I was really young, like 10 and 11.
That's so cool.
My brother would use his software to make his own, like, it was very Scottish, like happy hardcore, like heavy music. And he was making that in the family laptop anyway, so I was hearing all this stuff from Daft Punk, and that software was already there, and I could rip songs from YouTube, like go and dive. I was also trying to look, there was a point where like people would put up the samples that Daft Punk used, and through that I would try and find, like I'd find an artist. One of the artists I found from Daft Punk is George Duke, who they sampled for Digital Love, I'm sure. And hearing all his music had me like blown away. That's crazy. That's a good conjunction, because Assumptions is very much inspired by the way George Duke like does his vocal delivery. It's very airy and like kind of stacked in a sense. It fills the high end of the frequency rather than like sometimes like if you hear a disco ballad, it's like body from the bottom end, but like, he has this very nice like attention to the top end of.
Yeah, wow. Full circle moment.
That's the beauty of sampling, because you find all these songs that you would never hear otherwise unless you had, like even here, like My mum was in a band, and like my
You disappeared. There you are.
Oh, that was a 20% thing. Really good. My mum was in a band, and my dad makes bagpipes as well. So there's two musical elements in the background. Like I love how my dad is like he's like crafting the instrument.
That's incredible. So, like, wow.
It's kind of not like he's not like he can play the pipes, but he's not like known for his playing. He's known for like creating what's played. Right?
Wow.
And then my mum had a little moment singing and in the band and all the rest of it. But
that's
like
so cool.
in terms of hearing music in my house, I never heard anything.
Really?
So that's the other mind blowing thing about the music coming from YouTube and having that facility to tap into, because it was like that's what gave me my taste essentially.
Yeah, and I want to commend you even at such a young age for being like recognizing that the song is using a sample and digging for that sample, because I think it took me, I remember hearing One More Time when it came out and being in love, and Discovery it was such a moment for me and the whole world, obviously. But I think it even took me a while to put the pieces together as well. And it's so cool that you like latched right onto that. Have
you ever thought about the fact that Discovery is disco very?
Absolutely. Yes.
I thought about that the other night and I was like, no one's told me this.
And Vera Disquo is a little very disco. Yeah. Have you seen?
This has been great.
You're like, I'm done.
I'm out.
Have you watched Interstellar 5555?
I have it on DVD. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's amazing.
My CDs were then.
Yeah.
I bought it.
That was like the big deal for me.
Very disco.
Very disco. Is it blowing your mind? They're so great. I'm the biggest Daft Punk fan. So
Eric made fun, but I didn't know it was going to that. That accuracy.
Should have been your first sign. No. Well, I was really excited to hear that Daft Punk was kind of your get in there, because Daft Punk changed my life. So everyone who's been touched by them, which is so many people really, but it feels, even though it's so many people, it feels like a brotherhood of sorts when you're like a big giant Daft Punk fan.
No. It's one of the most vast, but like very understanding families in a sense, because it happens to everyone, and I always think about like even the fact they broke up, I'm almost like, I'm so happy that we realized that's the point where it's just like done.
Yeah, because they had the perfect career.
They had the perfect run.
I know. And now no one can say it's not possible. It's like they proved it. Like you can have taste from start to finish. It is possible.
And people, one of the things I was apparent about, like when there was no like random access memories and they never returned to that sound. The last thing they left us with was Human After All, right? And after that.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is gonna turn into
look, I'm here for the conspiracy shit. Monologue. Let's go for it. Let's dive deep.
so like people like Human After All, like very experimental, very rock based, and it's like, all right, yeah, but it's not Discovery, which is like perfectly glossy pop.
Everyone was kind of
very much inspiring to my like the music, like Duo and Assumptions. That's all in reference to that. Right?
Yeah.
But Human After All made like justice, in a sense.
Exactly.
and in that thing behind you.
I know. I mean,
Mr. Oizo was what to me. That's what got me into the film. Like I could break it down into like if I went from Daft Punk to Ed Banger straight away, right?
So it's the way to go.
So Mr. Flash has the beautiful hip hop, right? And then Mr. Oizo has the weirdo, like, I do not care what you're hearing. I'm going to put down what I like to make on a record, and it's just going to be blatantly weird, right?
Yeah.
And that, to me, inspired me so much. Like, I have such a love for music that, like, it sounds like it could be... it could be a perfect song, but they've decided to make it bizarre. And
it's like you spilled something on it and it just made it go a little like...
this could be amazing, but no, this is for the people that are ready to like enjoy it in this ugly format. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember playing a festival in Marseille, and it's the first time I'd ever seen Mr. Oizo, and this is when he put out All Wet and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I swear he played Jack Hugh The Justin
The
Bieber
Justin
one.
Bieber. Do 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 do.
I think he played it 3 times in a row, right? And then, but what I managed to, because I was there, I managed to see him before he went on stage, and I was like, yo, man, it's lovely to meet you. I wanted to say that Minuteman's Pulse is my favourite song of yours, right? And that one's the one on Edric Volume 3, like the little compilation.
Yeah.
They got this weird saxophone sample. It sounds crazy. And he was like, oh, you like that one, do you? And then what?
I have a similar story. I was he was playing a show in Florida on my birthday. My favorite is Bruce Willis is Dead because it's just like so fucking crazy.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god! Yeah, it's so that's a perfect example of a song that could be like a crazy like EDM banger, but he takes the note and puts it back one. And it's like.
Dude, I wish no harm on Bruce Willis, but the day that man does pass away, I'm gonna drive 10 miles an hour down the street, blasting that motherfucker over and over again.
And the little scream.
Yeah, exactly. I one time did get to interview him, and I was like, "Is Bruce Willis is Dead a Sixth Sense spoiler track?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "I think it is." Anyways, oh my goodness. Yeah. No, this is great. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. People are dropping some questions. I'm going to get to them. I just want everyone in the chat to know that if they drop questions, I'm going to get to them. But I'm loving this bro down as well.
This is good.
I was interested to hear you say that because I think that that you were really inspired by that kind of fuck it, throw the sounds together in a bucket and like let it rip because your rhythms are
you
very.
A lyricist?
I mean, I don't know. I'm a writer.
There's some moment of silence for those bars right now.
Dropping bars. It's fine. I recorded it. You can have it. No, but because your rhythms are very what's the word I'm looking for? They're not syncopated. You're playing a lot with the textures with your rhythms, and so it's cool to see that maybe that was inspired by this weird patchwork thing.
I think he made me like understand that there's very much something to be said about being obnoxiously like experimental. I feel like. Yeah. And I could never explain why I liked it so much as a kid either. But now when I look in hindsight, it's like I understand why because I was kind of quite a weird kid at the same time. You know what I mean?
You don't say.
It was resonating through that, but like, yeah, it's so fun. It's like. I think, well, even like a lot of things I hear about like with music and people, the way they indulge it, it's like people like to respond to music in a way where they can relate to it. So if you can hear sound that's a bit like, this sounds a bit off, this sounds weird. Oh. Like, maybe that is in relation to you, and maybe that's why you're gravitating towards it. Because like I can't even explain why I like some of his songs. Like, what's the song? Lamb's Garbage. It's like unfinished. It's like all these mad songs, like 5-second clips. It's still one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
You're familiar with Handbrakes, his project with Boys Noise?
Yeah, I haven't really listened to it though. I feel like Boys Noise as well. Like Boys Noise and digitalism and all this stuff. That was like the German
digitalism.
Side,
yeah, such a good moment. Like, that moment was my favorite.
When I went to high school, the first year I went to high school, that was what I was listening to, digitalism and all that electro stuff as well.
So good. Well, I want to hear more about you, but I just wanted to tell you real quick. I talked to Boys Noise one time, and I was like, "How is it working with Handbrakes? I love Handbrakes," and he's like, "Yeah, it's great. Oizo sends me files, and they're just like awful noise." And he was like, "We have a rule, and I have an hour to try to make something out of the noise he sends me. And whenever it's been an hour, we're done. Either it's a song or it's not."
Oh my god, that's amazing!
I could only imagine what the trash can bag is he sends over.
There's gonna be some madness in there.
Yeah.
Are you aware of Stereosmo before we go on?
Ooh, yes. Although I have to say, I'm not as intimately familiar, but like, yes. When I hear it, I really like it.
Fix. Kat, you need to fix it.
I will fix it. I will fix it.
Like, Stereosmo is
I will just dive right in, yeah.
Yeah. Mosaic, I'm sure you start.
Okay, I will. Let's talk about your SoundCloud days, though. So you start toying around with music. You're about 16 and you're releasing stuff on SoundCloud, and that was the golden era of SoundCloud where you could put a song up and really get it heard and really get attention. And I want to know what you remember about that time period, what it felt like, what you were expecting, or what was really going on.
I was on SoundCloud before 16, to be fair. I think I was posting stuff. I can actually find it right now. But I think I was 14 or 15 when I first started using SoundCloud. I have another SoundCloud, so 9 years ago.
I know. It's been almost a decade. So how weird is that for you?
This is my other SoundCloud I'm on, and it was 9 years ago. So, like, I used to post on this, and it was also, like, SoundCloud, it was like the early days of YouTube in this, in a sense. It's like, SoundCloud didn't have as much traffic on it, or at least that I was aware of. That, like, people, like, if people would listen to my songs on SoundCloud, it'd be like they directly got a link from, like, my Facebook or something.
Right.
But then I remember I kept posting stuff. I don't know. Like, SoundCloud's just always been this thing where it was like, obviously it is still now. It's like this kind of thing of like the audio version of YouTube. So I wanted to get involved in it, and that's it. I remember just keep posting stuff. Like, kept doing my thing, and then one night I went with this guy. I think his name was Equal Status. I remember liking one of his songs on SoundCloud. And you know what SoundCloud notifications are like? No one touches them, right? No one really goes on SoundCloud notifications. It's just like, it doesn't come up on your phone, whatever, right?
Right, yeah.
And then he went on it, and then he seen that I liked it, and then he reposted Powder. And then from that point, it never stopped.
Wow.
Like, ever.
Wow.
So, like, I'm so happy that I can understand how it happened as well, because it was literally through him. He posted it, and it was like, do. And then I remember, like, about 2 weeks later, that month, I had 1.2 million plays on everything in 1 month.
Wow.
As a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
As well, so I was like...
And there's not even close to 1.7 million. It was summertime.
And I was like, wait a minute. What is going on here?
Yeah, there's not even that many people in your town.
And a month later, I got invited to DJ with Selection in London.
Wow, what the fuck was that like? Did you know how to DJ? Were you a DJ?
I'd never been in a club.
Right.
I was 17. I'd never been in a club in my life. And I walk in and I'm like, all right. I do the sound check on this controller that's probably this size, right? Just like mucking about. I do the sound check. I make this really weird noise, right? And Joe K's like, was that meant to do that? I was like, nah. It wasn't meant to make that noise. So from that point till the point of the show, I had to do the like promoter's dinner and all the rest of it in London. Never been to London in my life.
Oh my God.
Like, butterflies are like...
I can't imagine.
Going off, right? Couldn't believe what was going on. I was like, I don't want to do it. I need to pre-record this, all the rest of it. And then 5 minutes before the show, it was like sun came over me. It was the most insane feeling ever. Like sheer adrenaline, just like non-control. Because up until that point, I was like crumbling. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not ready for this. 5 minutes before, I'm like, and I go on, right? I had for the 12 to 12:30 slot.
Nice.
It went like that. It was the quickest experience of my life. Like, it just went. I still have footage of it too. I'll never forget how that felt.
Wow. Well,
it was crazy.
Cadixon, I don't know how to say this person's name. They were there. They're saying they were there at that show, which is incredible.
No,
that's what they're saying. Right? That's amazing. Crazy. And congrats for like pulling through that moment. That seems crazy. Did they know you were 17 when they booked you? Did you show up at the club and they were like, what?
No. My old man that accompanied me like then, I was like, nah, it's all good. Yeah. I think I had an X on my hand, to be fair.
Of course. This is a cool question.
But that's the thing, right? If that wasn't in that place, I probably would have like got really drunk or something.
Right.
Like if I had the ability to drink at that point,
right,
I'd probably like set a really bad habit to start off with.
Right.
Because that was a very overwhelming feeling. Like,
Yeah.
to know that you're like going on that sober mindset as well, and like knowing you've made a mistake or whatever, like it's crazy.
Yeah, and what a first show too, like with Selection, that's just incredible.
And EXO Wild too, it's like one of the best clubs in London.
Oh my God, that's so wild.
It was wild. That's the word for it, indeed.
What happened next? Did you just keep getting bookings? Did you start feeling a little bit more normalized with it? Like, when did, I guess you graduated high school, presumably?
So I left school when I was 16. I was like, my parents let me leave as well. I was like,
Wow.
I can't. This is stressing me out.
Yeah.
Like I seen all my peers like getting themselves to a point where they could sacrifice their own happiness to study to do what they wanted to do.
Right.
But nothing. I couldn't study for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So when I was sacrificing my happiness, there was no end goal. Like I couldn't do it to start studying. So I was like, right. And I left school and I did sound production from 16 to 17. But very low level, like just entry level stuff. But the cool thing about that is I learned slight bits about managers and publishers and all that.
That's
like,
cool. That's good knowledge. A
Yeah,
lot of kids
like,
don't know that.
And that was like when I was 16, that's when I was putting my stuff on Soundcloud. So like for me, that was good on even like the studio side. I'd never been in the studio until I went there and all that. So it was a nice introduction to things like that. But then when I was 17, I'm telling you about the summer that hit. So like that term finished and then summer hit and then all these things happened. So when I came back, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm doing this full time.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I'm just baiting you to keep telling me your story because it's fascinating.
I can't remember what the question was about. If the question was about like the progression of that, like after the London show, I started going. I did a tour selection in Europe.
Wow.
So like the third show I ever did was in Paris. So like when I left there, it was like
nice.
Different.
The mecca of all the shit that we were talking about too.
And that show was wild. It used to be on YouTube. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. It was at Faust. It was a very fun show.
Should look that up.
And the club was kind of on a horizontal place. So like I was here and then it was like, rather than it being a long thing, it was like I was in the middle of it. So
I love that. That's a cool vibe.
Crazy show.
Wow. So you don't even have club experiences outside of like before being the star in a sense. Like that's so wild. Yeah. But it's just your reality, I guess, you know?
It's been very blessed reality. Like I've had so much fun.
Yeah. And what a wonderful...
It was very shattering coming back to Scotland.
I bet. But you've chosen to stay. And I believe you still live close to where you grew up, right?
I'm where all this happened. I'm in my room. I came back because I was living in Edinburgh, but I moved back when the pandemic hit because I was staying by myself. I was like, let me reset for 1 second. Like, I'm not trying to make a new life with all this stuff happening. So.
Totally. All right. I'm going to ask some questions from the chat here. I really liked Next to Blue's question. What's your general philosophy when writing or producing? How do you come up with ideas? So maybe where does it start? I see you got like 5 guitars back there. You've got a nice modular synth, it looks like, on the other side. So
the Moog One.
Oh, nice. Uh-oh, we're getting a tour. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Damn. What year is that? That's older than you, too.
No, that's the Moog One. That's the new thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not a gearhead. I don't know.
Don't make me turn it on.
Uh-oh. Dude, Next to Blue, Moog One is goated.
It's not plugged in.
Aw, we almost got lucky, folks.
No, I can't lie. Like, this is new stuff.
Yeah.
So it can't be that, you know.
Disappeared. Come back. There you are.
I know it's that 10%. I'm gonna plug myself.
Oh yeah, because you were you needed to plug it in.
Oh, I can't do that. Sorry.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm just trying to make sure we can see you. Is
flip
all.
Upside down if I do this.
I don't know. Let's see. Hello, Akam Rustum. Hello, Rusty Hook. Good to see you.
Rusty Hook, I know that.
Rusty Hook, yeah. Rusty Hook wants to know if Sam is still in contact with Carmack the goat.
Of course.
How's Carmack doing?
Uncle Aaron.
Uncle Aaron.
Yeah.
It's familiar. I love that. Dude, Carmack is the fucking goat. I mean...
Yeah. So he took what? Interestingly, another Mr.
That's
in
right.
terms of the weirdness.
Another
so he made me
Mr.
very, like, let's go, like, on the... Yeah, my music completely changed when I first heard Mr. Carmen.
Yeah.
Like, massively.
And talk about another someone who's not afraid to just like what the term you used was so great. I don't remember it exactly now, but it was like courageously experimental or something. Like just not afraid to get as experimental as possible.
Obnoxiously.
Obnoxiously experimental. That's it. I guess Mr. Carmack is not quite as obnoxious as Mr. Oizo. He definitely takes the cake, but Carmack is definitely pushing a limit.
He's got enough obnoxiousness to take it past the threshold.
Yeah, sure. What a great person for you to be.
And the first person that introduced me to America. I'd never been to America until.
Shut up! Let's hear that story. Let's hear it.
Well, it was the worst like snowstorm in New York. For
really?
Ages.
Oh my god!
That was the last show we had. Yeah, and we had a show in Syracuse, and you couldn't walk, and it was like very tall.
Wow, that's nuts. Oh, wait,
the Tundra tour.
The Tundra. Wait,
all
but
wrapped up.
When was that? When was your first trip to the States?
2016, the start of 2016.
Nice, amazing. Okay, I'm going here. I'm trying to see if we got. What do you think about the States and the state scene? I know everyone's always like, you got to be in LA or whatever to get shit done. But I appreciate you're sticking to your guns with Scotland, because Scotland's dank. I would fucking live in Scotland.
Moved to LA before the pandemic and stuff.
You did?
I nearly did, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, America's great, but it's very much somewhere I appreciate visiting rather than living.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could feel that way.
I just feel like because of how unique being brought up here was, it's very hard to like want to step out of it in the sense of like I love visiting all these places, but none of them feel like somewhere I could reside. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if I was to move to LA, it would be purely to like make music and like focus on that, because sometimes obviously here it's quite a different lifestyle, so you don't have that similar. You don't just meet people and they're like, let's connect.
Right, yeah.
It's like, I'll see you in a bad state sometime soon. I mean, it's never like, let's do work. You know what I mean? So,
that's amazing. I'll see you in a bad state sometime soon. That's how I'm going to end my phone calls with my besties.
That's not what they say, but that's literally how it goes. I mean.
Yeah.
Is this overkill? I have a little light, but it might be too dark.
Yeah, it's a little dark, but it's no biggie. No.
Let's not do that. I got some lasers going me. But yeah, I love America. I love visiting there. I miss it so much, and I can't wait to return.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for shows. I'm definitely gonna. Okay, let's slowly get there. I have to ask you about the Escapism EP series. It's so beautiful, and it seems very intentional. So, what was the thematic reasoning behind all that? Did you go into it expecting it to be a series? Like,
do you want to know? Right, okay. I don't think I've ever told this to anyone.
Oh.
So like the first design I got the Escapism thing, I was working with my friend Daniel Diaz-Granados, who does a lot of the artwork for it, and he sent me the one column.
Yeah.
So just that one line in that, and like that was a photo he'd taken on a flight, and I seen it there. I was like, that looks great, and then we confirmed that one. And I made it, and I was like, and this is me in a nutshell as well. Like, once I make something, I'm like, straight to the next one. So, as soon as I made that, I was like, I want to keep doing this. I remember being in a meeting with my A&R from XL, and I was like, that went well, let's just do another one. And then I was like, right, how can we do another one where it flows? And I was like, it already had the one column there, so I was like, let's just make it two.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even think about it, it just naturally came about. Yeah. I have two here, I'm going to just bring it out for fun.
Oh, yeah. And did your friend who took the first photo...
Even the vinyl, right? So, like, this is...
Oh, I've never seen it in a vinyl form. That's so sick. Oh,
right.
sick.
So this is even better, because you'll understand why this looks like this, right? So there's that.
Wow.
That is my friend Daniel's interpretation of this.
Oh, that's so cool.
And that's a photo I took on my iPhone.
Wow. Oh man, Apple would love to make that into an advert.
Shot on iPhone 6.
Exactly. Man,
But
Cutie's
yeah, so
mind
then
is
it just
blown,
kind
by
of
the way.
continued like that, and I even love how it's like the fact it's like you're the escapism element of the actual physical vinyl where you're escaping to the point, but like you're restricted by this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
It's,
Rusty,
just, it's weird though. I could like these are just things that end up just becoming apparent rather than being actual set out. Like
yes. I think that is more common than not, honestly. Like, it's...
yeah. But that's the beauty of it. It's like you're discovering like discovery again. It's like you're finding things that, you know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. And especially
I was
when...
thinking about sampling as well. Back to sampling real quick. It's like people misinterpret sampling when you don't understand like the importance of when you discover something that you want to share with other people. So
Right.
the way I would like sampling, it's kind of like it's like you find treasure in a sense, and it's like you're not taking ownership. You're not like I invented this treasure. It's like I'm so proud that I found the treasure. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and it's like an I love it because it feels like a continuing conversation of like culture between people who are really into it.
Extends life.
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely. And bringing things back, and then if you know the sample, it feels like you're in on this you're in on it with the person who made it or whatever. It's like a fun moment, you know?
Yeah, it's very human actually. It's very much like endorsement of expression. You know what I mean?
I heard that you have synesthesia. Is that true? Do you experience synesthesia? That's cool. Can you talk to me about that? I've always been fascinated about the concept.
So, I was actually talking about this today as well. I was like, we were talking about how like, yeah, it's a mad one. Because the weird thing about it for me is like, I feel like I can pinpoint the point when it formed. So my parents would put on these like story tapes when I was younger, right? It'd be like a crochet story tape, and then at the end there'd be a song. But this is when I was like 2 to 5 years old, right?
Wow,
so we put these tapes on. My eyes would be shut before I go to sleep. But I'm listening to these tapes, and this guy's explaining the stories like very vividly, right? And then at the end of the story, there would be a song at the end, right? But because my eyes were shut, I'd hear the song. And it's like, I think because I wasn't using my sense of sight, it would like shut off, and then the link would happen at that very malleable age of when I was younger.
Yeah, I'm amazed
and
that you remember it too. It's quite young.
Yeah. Oh, it's so vivid. And like, so the song is trippy as well. It was like a worship song that said, this is something I realized today. It's like, you gotta have faith if you can't see it with your eyes, right? That's what the song was saying.
Wow.
My eyes were shut and I was hearing it. But that song, which I heard, was in like probably the D minor, all along that kind of line of note. It's like, those are the notes they were using. So when my eyes were shut, I'd see it as a blue song. So blue to me, it just means like daytime. It's like blue. So it reminds me of being outside when the sky's blue, all this. And then there's like, I get it very strong with blue, green, and red, right? And blue and green are quite similar in the sense of they remind me of during the day, they remind me of
like the grass and all that.
Yeah,
Scotland's very green, yeah.
But then red, when I hear red, it's very like even if you think of your internal makeup, it's very red and like it's dark in there. So it's kind of like red reminds me of like warmth, but in the sense of like nighttime, or even like something. It's red or orange. So I have red and orange really strong, and blue and green really strong. But orange to me resembles streetlights and like tungsten and like things of that nature, because like you're never going to be in a sense during the day where everything's going to be orange. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well,
even sunset. Sunset is like the way into the nighttime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So orange and red very much, or even like brickwork. Like I always think of like brickwork in that sense as well, because it's red and it's like it's like, although it's warm, it doesn't feel like a natural. It doesn't feel like during the day warm.
Right. It feels like there's some sort of like fiery source or something.
Yeah. Fire. Perfect. Like, so fire would be there at nighttime. You don't really see it properly at nighttime. So that's when things light up red and that's a perfect example. And then blue, even though it's a cold color, like contextually, like it reminds me of the warmth that you see when it's a bright blue sky.
Yeah. This
So I
is
use it in a way for like contextualizing an environment or like a time of day.
Well, I'm interested to hear that because a lot of the visualizers, or some of them, you know, games in particular for the new songs, you're playing with this color a lot. Did that influence your choice to do that?
That song's a red song.
Yeah.
So, games is in the same key as Assumptions, so when you hear it, kind of like transitions in the same way in the sense of it's the exact one key to the next. So that's why they're both the same color in the visualizer.
That's cool. Is your friend who got the camera and helped you make those the same friend who's doing the covers with you?
No, that's Gregor. Gregor's my good friend that I met quite recently, but like I've always wanted a friend to be able to like document stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, I was talking about that in the sense as well, because a lot of like when I was doing the escapes and stuff, I felt very behind the scenes and very like not exposed in that way.
Yeah.
And it's because I hadn't found a friend that would document it, you know. So he's doing that now, but the covers were shot by a friend of mine called Sab, who he's a London-based photographer, and he does amazing film work. So they were all shot on film, but all those photos are in order of when they were taken during the day, and that's to be assigned to each song and what that resembles during the day at that time.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
All right, let's dive in.
Chronological imagery as well as chronological like during the day stamps on each song.
And you mean that musically as well as, do you mean it lyrically?
Well, so a new dawn is meant to resemble the morning. Duo is during the day, like very sober, very like clear, bright blue, and then games is like the emotional reflection of the day before the party. Assumptions is the party.
Amazing. Love this.
Yeah.
Love this.
Yeah.
When did you start making all that? Well, okay, you said that you started making it a year ago. A year ago now, in the summer.
Assumptions is the oldest one.
Okay.
Assumptions is the one that made me start singing, so that one was in 2018, that's 3 years old, that's right. But I've developed it since then, but that's when I got the idea for that. And that's the song that made me spark the idea, and I'm just going to start singing that. Yeah,
I want to hear about that realization, that inspiration. I think you are gifted at it, I want to say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're not singing about stuff that I think I haven't heard before, but you're doing it in a fresh way. I love your lyrical take.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm not, as much as I love lyrics. I'm very focused on get straight to the point in that sense. I don't really me with lyrics. I love double meanings and all the rest of it, but like. Lyrics are never the forefront for me. It's always about how it feels first. So like what you're saying there, it reinforces that. It's like it's not necessarily what I'm saying, but it's the way it's said that I'm interested in, and it's due to the fact that I feel the music before I kind of hear it in a sense. So like I had friends that I would talk about hip hop with. And I was very much on the beat element, and they were very much like lyrics. So they could hear a song that had, to me, a bad beat on it, and they could still vibe with it because what they were saying was catching them.
Right.
But I was stuck on the beat because I felt like that was what I was hearing first, rather than what was saying in context and detail. So that transcends into this release as well, because it's like I'm not trying to have people like going into what's said. Like I really want to just get straight to the point. And I wanted to make something bold, essentially. I wanted to make something that was like there's nowhere to hide on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As blatantly as it is.
It's interesting to have that take right after a series called Escapism, which and then I like that it's called 4. So it feels like we're related to where we were, but we've dropped the escapism element.
It drops the escape.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my friend today, and it was like we used an analogy of like a house. So like the escapisms are like the garden party. Like you're outdoors, right? But then this one is like I'm letting you in.
Oh, you know what I mean? I like that.
Like it's that's how I kind of describe it.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I got called there.
It's all good. That's so cool. And how did it feel the first time you were putting your voice on record and welcoming people inside your house, so to speak? Did it feel nerve-wracking or exciting? Were the butterflies back from that night at the club?
No, I unfortunately will never get those back. Like that was something else.
Yeah.
But nah, because I've been singing, because I've been experimenting with it since 2018 when I was doing Assumptions, it felt very natural to put it out at this point. And back to what I was saying about how a lot of these things got started around this time of the year last year. Like it felt like the right time to reintroduce it in a sense.
Yeah. And I gotta shout out that Britney reference in games. I think it's very clever.
Did it again. That's the only bit.
That is the only bit, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah. That's it.
The first time I heard it, I was like, did he just do what I thought? I think he did.
I'm thinking you apparently. That's what's going on.
It's funny. Mr. McQuiggles also appreciates that part. Yeah. I saw that you tweeted, you were like, I make pop music now, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry everyone.
Were you at all like, I guess, do you consider it pop music? I think it's pop music, but in your own style for sure. Like
I think it's more digestible than like instrumental music because of the like vocal glue essentially. Like the vocal is what like holds the full thing to like, because there's a lot of different styles, but the vocal is the kind of foundation of the full thing.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I kind of forgot the question.
No, it's fine. Yumster27, which is a great name, says you teased everyone with your voice on explanation, and they've been so fucking ready for more, and they're so hyped that you're going all vocal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's probably the first one as well. That one was 2019, so that one was like a little. Like I used that project as a way to like for my true fans that were wanting more from that song. So that's good. I appreciate it.
Yeah. They're also excited for unreleased tunes tomorrow on BBC Radio 1.
Correct. At 2 a.m., which is going to be a very more forgiving time on whatever side of the world.
You poor thing. You're always doing shit at night, I guess, huh?
I know. So in 25 hours, that'll be happening.
Crazy. Well, we'll all have to tune in. That's good. Mark your calendars.
All unreleased.
That's sick. I
things that aren't finished and all the rest of it. So
I'm literally going to mark my calendar. That sounds amazing. Also, Hibernated Music brought up the song Acres just being so fantastic, and I want to second that. That song is absolutely beautiful. Where are all these instrument sounds coming from? Do you samples? You're pulling samples?
All over the world. That one was, I think I used Contact for that, so there's a lot of like sample-based plugin stuff, so I was manipulating the sound. Yeah, that was all Contact. But there's a lot of Japanese instruments. I think there's an erhu in there. But it's weird. I used it to context like how Scotland felt for me.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
That song's called Acres, like, and even like the artwork for Escapism 3, like that was what I was trying to emulate with that song. So even though there's sounds from all over the world, I feel like it does have a kind of it sounds slightly bagpipe like.
Yes. Have you ever made a bagpipe?
No, it's just my dad. He's killing it. I can't do this.
You ever sample a bagpipe?
I have on Jungle Waters' bagpipes.
Oh yeah, nice.
So,
nice.
That's bagpipes.
A few people have asked about Next Chapter.
What, the song?
Yeah, people are asking.
So that song is called Stuck.
It's called Stuck.
Yeah.
Is it?
And I guess it's just the next chapter. That's the first lyric, and that's all I'm saying.
Well, is that released? Is that something that's out or coming out?
I guess it's just the next chapter. Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
Everybody is kind of begging for it.
Well, that's coming, I believe.
What you said, you made a mention. You said that you're the type of person that as soon as you're done with something, you're on to the next thing. So does that mean that you're working on something right now that is totally beyond what we've heard?
Next chapter.
Okay, all right.
You keep bringing it there. I'm sorry.
All right, it's fine. Cutie wants to know. Ask him if he has a song called Cyclops and if it's coming out eventually.
Cyclops.
Don't know
No,
if it's
I
the
don't.
correct title, but it's the one. Oh, they linked to something earlier. Why? That's far up. Okay. It's something on Streamable. I'm not sure. I can't play it right now while I'm talking to you, but
What?
someone's got your number. I don't know what it is. Streamable. I mean, I guess I could try to play it, but
Try it.
okay, let's try it. Let's see if we can hear it. Confirm. I'm leaving the chat. Oh, this looks like an Instagram story.
That one. How do people know?
What do you do? This is you. I think that's you. What about that
The
song?
thing about that is that's not called Cyclops. That was a plugin I used on that song.
That's okay. Oh, Cyclops is a plugin. But what's that
Yes.
song? Is that song going to come out? Is that a
That
song?
song is the first song I ever made, which uses that plugin. But I never caught. Right, I must have been on my laptop or something. But I don't think I was on that video.
It didn't look like you were. I don't know, man. It's weird being a person on the internet.
I actually feel stopped. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that one, but I hope it comes up.
Oh my god. Oh, someone said, apparently you played it on a drunk live that you did and your phone kept falling over.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't want to ever see that image.
Oh
again,
god, I'm
but
so sorry.
It's okay.
You just come on.
Something
You think you're
something
going to have a
that's
nice
gonna
conversation and it's actually just a traumatic event for you.
Oh, wow.
You can never do interviews
Remember
again.
this? Okay.
Love Some Swag wants to know if you've ever met Catronata because
Yes,
you're both
I played a few
legends.
shows with them in festivals. So
Ooh.
we did Faded in the Park in Vancouver, and then we did a show where it was me and him in Belgium in a botanic garden.
Ooh,
That was
nice.
very fun.
Yeah.
It was a very good show.
You guys ever think about working together or swapping
So
stems
there's
or
a
anything?
case. I did a remix for him, and it's on the mix tomorrow. But apart from that, yeah, I'd love to work with him.
Oh, that's awesome. And mega congrats to Catronata, of course. We're all very
Yes.
proud of his Grammy.
Oh, he's the guy.
Brendan Beach wants to know if I love that now it's just turning into a when are you going to release it? Brendan
Okay,
Beach
great.
wants to know about your song So Special. How does everyone know their unreleased songs? How do they know that
No.
stuff?
It's all because of Instagram Live.
That's so crazy.
I hope to release that one soon. That one is definitely on the release trajectory. I've not finished it yet though, so I need to get that one
That's cool.
polished off.
Well, listen, you take your time, okay? Artists, listen, if there's anything that we've learned from our friends, the French, who release on Ed Banger, it's that you don't have to stick to some every 2-year cycle like everyone
No,
tells
you
you
don't.
you do.
You can come up whenever you want.
You have, though, talked about having an album that's very close to done. Are you working on a full length, like a long full length project?
So this is where a lot of these songs
I
I feel
see.
like might fit.
I see.
But I've probably done about 8 albums from the point that I've said
Wow.
I'm going to be making
Fucking
albums.
shit.
So
I believe that.
it's ever changing, and I just need to find the best bits out of all of them and then compile them.
Yeah. Well, debut albums to me, or just albums in general, the concept of an album, it's like a story. It's a narrative. It's an album for a reason, you know.
Mhm.
So I can imagine you're trying to make sure that when that statement comes out, you're like feeling good about it.
Yeah, it freaks me out almost.
Yeah.
It's their sport or EPs.
Yeah, you're like, I'll just do another like a 5, 6, 7.
What do you mean? There's 19 songs. What do you mean? You know what I mean? I'm scared. No, I'm not scared of it, but I definitely hold it in a special place where it needs to be perfect.
Yeah. What are some of the all-time albums? I mean, we've talked about Discovery, we've talked about all the Daft Punk stuff, but
Cosmogramma, Flying Lotus,
so good.
Butter, Hudson Mohawk, Glass Swords, Rusty, Quasimoto, the Future Invention of Love's Choirs, the second one on his playlist. Jamiroquai, Return of the Space Cowboy, one of my favorites. Roy Salt, Melody AM.
Yes.
Kendrick, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Playboy Carti's first mixtape. Young Thug, Barter 6.
And which Britney Spears album? No, I'm just kidding.
The one where she does Every Time. That one.
Wait, is that the one that's like, and every time I seem to find I fall. Oh, yeah. I'm so
what was she on that day?
Dude, when
that
Britney...
was in response to Justin Timberlake, Justified.
Oh, yeah. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Oh.
What else we got?
I also want to hear if you have plans for bringing this music to life on stage. It does seem like we're getting back into the world of live performance, and I want to hear what's going on. You're singing. You singing?
I'm gonna be singing.
That's
for
so
sure.
exciting. What kind of pop star are you? Are you gonna have like cool clothes? Like, are you gonna have
I'm
a
probably
look?
gonna be wearing a kilt if there's ever been a pop star to do that. Apart from ASAP Rocky stealing the swag this morning. Okay, man.
Yo, true.
I guess I missed that memo.
I heard that you're maybe putting a streetwear collection together. Is that a thing you're doing?
Yeah. The way I sold people to it was that I was gonna put rappers in kilts. But
Oh no! You should just claim it. You should claim that one.
Nah, but to be fair, I like in the vinyl itself on 4. There's a tartan on the interior, and that I'm gonna like every family in Scotland has their own tartan register. So if you're like Callum or like all these names, like they have a tartan registered. It's like a clan thing almost. In the sense. But Gellaitry is the most obscure second name. Like there's 36 Gellaitry's alive.
Wow. Do you know them all?
I know them all. Yeah.
Oh, you're all related.
There's only 3 that can really continue it.
Wow.
If I get that, if I die and my brother and my cousin dies, we're done.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
so
no pressure. Hey,
no
you
pressure,
know what? You know what though, Sam? You ensured that the Gellaitry name has a place. Okay? This music is a legacy, and I think all the Gellaitries can appreciate it.
Yeah, but what? But it might turn into just a name, you know what I mean? Not even a real life thing.
Well, you know, don't let it scare you too much.
Anyway, what I was going to say with that is I'm going to register a Gellaitry tartan in design. And the tartan that's under the sleeve, so basically when you open it, it's within that, is a tartan that I designed it on my iPhone notes, actually. So I drew it on there, and then it's basically I used the colours that are strongest for me in Synesthesia and like made the tartan.
That's so cool. Wait, but aren't there like symbols, right? Are there?
If we had more time, right, I'd show you this drawing. This is the earliest thing of mine that exists. There's a date on it, and it says, I think it's either 2000 or 2001, right? So it says Sam's Tartan, and it's a painting.
And you did that when you were a kid?
I drew of a tartan that I made. I think I was 3 years old.
And now that's the one you're gonna use.
I'm not going to use that, but that has to be on one of these T-shirts. This is what I'm saying. Sell it to the tartan, sell it to the T-shirts, sell it to everything else. Because I don't want to do merch. I don't want that. I want to have something that people can endorse, that I would endorse as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Well,
So, like,
I would.
that's definitely coming in the pipelines for sure.
That's awesome. I'm sign me up. I'm happy to represent the
I'll give you a
Gellaitry
t-shirt.
clan everywhere I go.
Come on. Starting to GoFundMe. Don't let the Gellaitries die out.
Don't let the Gellaitries die. Oh my gosh. Save the Gellaitry. For just 5 cents a day, you too could sponsor a Gellaitry.
5 cents? What do you mean?
I don't know. Did you guys not have those weird commercials when you were a kid?
$5. It's the Gellaitries we're talking
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're right. We really should all find it in our hearts and our wallets to give $5 to the Gellaitries. When are those vinyl? Can you say that's exciting? I'm glad that the vinyl, but has it been announced? The vinyl for 4?
Yeah, you can pre-order it. I'm not sure when it comes out.
Okay, cool. Well, everyone needs to go pre-order it. Everybody, and maybe a restock of Escapism 3 jumpers. I've never seen these. Did I miss out?
I don't even have one myself.
Really? Oh man, you got to keep at least one of everything for yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, or at least 3 apparently, because when I keep one, it disappears.
Oh, that seems true. Yeah, that seems true. It's nice to keep it rare. The French keep things rare too.
I know, but I want it back.
You should have one. Listen, who do we have to fight? Who do we have to fight to get that back?
Well, I'll take care of it when I find out.
Fucked up.
Pretty upset. No.
Man, well, I hope you do get it back. You deserve it.
Thank you.
We're coming up on our time here, but I want to thank you so much.
Are you kicking me out?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Sorry, everyone. I have to go.
I mean, I guess you don't have to, but I put these up on YouTube later, and I don't like them to be way too. They've been getting longer. I feel like it's which is fine because I love having these conversations. But if you had anything you could impart on the world in this last little moment, what do you want to say to the world, or do you have anything else to share, or what have you been dreaming about lately? I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't have to know.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. We're gonna listen to. You're saying.
That's what I was gonna say to everyone that's here. Thank you for coming. And it's very important to create things. So just keep creating things.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's how we leave a lasting impression on this strange blueberry that we're all on.
It's true. Or how you keep yourself sane, I'm sure.
Exactly. It's therapeutic, and not only that, it leaves a lasting impression.
It does. I feel like every time people are just a little too aggressive on Facebook and they like to get into the Twitter arguments or whatever, I'm like, when was the last time you made a thing? Why don't you just go make a thing?
Just, apart from that, make a smile, not a squabble.
Smiles over squabbles. That's the Gellaitry gang. Wait, what images and creatures go in your tartan? If I said that right, aren't they symbols?
No. Oh, you're talking. That's more of like a shield.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of that thing. Okay.
But tartan is just plaid.
Oh, that's the plaid. Oh, okay, sick. Oh hell yeah, I want to wear some Gellaitry tartans. I'm sorry, but I love plaid. Plaid's my favorite color.
I love plaid, but I hate the word. It's like soccer.
I see what you're saying. Plaid is like the American thing. That's what it's really tartan.
Called tartan.
Okay. Yeah, hey, our conversation started. Check. Our conversation started with you telling me how to fucking say shit. And now here we are.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
You've done very well. I really appreciate you.
I really appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I'm such a fan of your music, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait for the next chapter, and I really can't wait to see Sam Gellaitry, the pop star, on stage in his family tartan. It's gonna be
exactly, in a kilt.
It's gonna be so good. But you have to be ready for.
I'm gonna be a kilt, and hopefully people come and say you kilt that shit.
You have to be ready for all the Americans to ask you what's under your kilt, though, because that's all they know how to do when they see one.
Nothing much.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna listen to games on the way out. I love games so much. I love the fucking
Thank you.
bass drop switch up part. When I first
Stereo.
heard that, I was like,
Okay, quickly. I put that in there to evoke the false sense of security from the first drop to the second. To
yeah,
imply that there's a false sense of security in the nature of the song lyrics.
it's true. That's clever.
Sorry.
You're clever, Sam. If you're anything, it's
No.
clever for sure.
No, I got low level grades in music, so
Yeah, that's right. They should have never let you walk out of there with a music degree.
they should have never given me Fruity Loops and a laptop.
That was a mistake. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sam. I'd love to have you on the
Thank
show
you.
anytime. Anytime you're welcome. And
It's great to talk to you.
when you're in the States, I'm gonna come say hey. And if I'm ever in Scotland, I'm gonna come find you and I'm gonna have a bottle of Buckfast. And it's gonna be a scene.
And I bought a blend everything. It'll be good.
Save some for me.
Nice.
All right. I'll see you later.
Take care.
Bye.